Okay, folks, it's game time. We're 10 minutes from the official mass start here in Willow, Alaska. You're on Willow Lake. I'm your host, Kale Casey, for the Willow 300 2020 edition. This is a feed for active dog lovers and a community of folks who love dogs. So let us know where you're from, who you're cheering from. Let me know if you can hear me over the dogs here. We've got 30 plus teams on the lake right now getting ready. We're within 10 minutes of the start, folks, so thanks for joining us. Remember to share the feed and let me know if you can hear me, whether you're on the live or rebroadcast. Always ask questions. Always let us know who you're cheering from. We're going to be positioned officially right behind the starting person. So I'm going to give you a look at the teams, and then I'm going to go about 100 yards into the lake, and we'll broadcast from there. So thanks for joining us. Let's get going here, folks. Oh, my gosh. Our first man, the celebrity Mark Norman, in the house. How are you?
I'm good, sir.
Can you even hear yourself think?
No, it's pretty loud today.
You're a familiar face. It's great to have you here. And are you as excited as I am?
I am, yeah. It's always fun to see. I love the mass start aspect.
It's crazy town.
It sure is.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. We'll kick back with you for an interview. Here we go. Let's get a good look at all the teams, folks. I'm going to give you a good sweep if you're joining us from around the world. -3 degrees in Willow. Perfect day for sled dog racing. Here's what the teams look like. Thank you for joining us from Bavaria, from Alaska, from Eagle River, from wherever you're from. You are always welcome to be here. There we go. Look at these guys. Linwood's team right there, and Linwood's wife. Hey, congratulations on the Hall of Fame. That's a big deal. Linwood got inducted in the Hall of Fame last night for Willow. That's a big, big deal. Here we go. Some teams like the CVs, they're going to hold off a bit. They're not going to hook up quite yet. Here we are. Look at these guys. You can see them all waving down there. These guys are ready to go. We're about 6 or 7 minutes away, folks. The countdown is on. Anya, local favorite always. Here we go. Look at that beautiful rough too. Anya Rodano, folks, right down the road. It starts in about 5 minutes. There's Karen Hendrickson, another favorite, and her handlers helping out. Look at the scene here, folks. Willow, Alaska, 5-minute warning. You're getting the 5-minute warning there. 5-minute warning. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Great to see you. Jessica! Jeremy's racing today, Jessica's husband. So Jeremy Clayka, big number 24. Jim Lanier right there. Look at those beautiful dogs. Okay, folks. Look at the scene here. We got over 30 teams. It's a mass start. If you're just joining us, the teams will start in about 3 minutes. There we go. Look at how many there are down here. Dog teams up and down. Make sure to share the feed. This rarely happens anywhere in the world. It's just around sunrise here in Willow. The temperature's perfect. Here we go. Our official timekeepers are almost ready. How many minutes? 4? 4 minutes. Oh my. Okay. So this will be where the indicators are back here for the start. How's this going to run down?
This is going to be mass start. I'm expecting 10 to 15, 16 teams to take off at 10. Then there'll be another wave come right out behind them. And then there'll be some slow pokes.
And that strategy is just, it's a long race, right?
Yeah, they're just going to, it's fun to have mass start.
Right.
There's no time differential.
Right.
The clock starts at 10. So.
And everybody goes, and some will wait, and some will hitch up even. All right, there's your Mayor Vern Halter giving us the rundown, folks. We're just a few minutes away. Look at this scene right here. Thanks for joining us, whether you're live or on the rebroadcast. Share this feed. 30 plus teams in Willow, Alaska on the lake. This is the location where the Iditarod starts. This is a community that's been through a lot over the years. It's a community that comes together around dogs, around sports, around snow machines and trails. And here we are ready for the Willow 300 2020 edition. We got the official timekeepers right here. I'm right behind them. Oh my God. You can hear the roar. Look at all those happy dogs. They are fired up. Pete Rodano joining us from just down the road. Jim Sturley giving a good luck. Cheer on your favorite musher. Let's hear where they're from. Look at all these teams. This is what's known as a dog party. This is what brings us together. Look at how stoked those guys are. They are so excited. The first run will be about 50 miles. Ed Streeper joining us. People cheering on. Lance Mackey, Becky Hacker. We're getting closer now. Our official timekeeper's right here. And that flag goes up. Look at the scene, folks. Okay, flag's up. Flag's up. That means it's going to be soon. Flag's up. All the flags are up here, folks. Stay tuned. Here we go. Blair Braverman joining us. You're just 1 minute away from the start. Here we go. The official time right ahead of us. Any second now. Share the feed. You're live from Willow. Listen to that excitement. Hundreds of dogs ready to go. Here we go. The official start. It's on. There they go. There they go. There they go! Woo-hoo! This race is on! Here we go, Jim Lanier, right now, Northern White's heading out. Here we go. You can see where they're heading, right across the lake, just like the Iditarod. And there's gonna be a staggered start, even though the clock started. Some teams will hold back. Right on, folks. There you go. About 15 teams are going to go for the bottleneck. There's another team starting right now. Another team out there starting right now. So there'll be a stagger all throughout the morning. There's Karin Hendrickson starting right now. That's right. Lots of hearts. Throw your hearts out there, and the mushers will watch this. And as you can see, they're heading down the bottleneck right now, starting out the Willow 300 2020. Beth Carpenter's right. We have Quince Mountains holding back a little bit. We just talked to him in the pre-race interview. Go check that out. More teams starting out right now. There they go. This is a 300-mile event. This is not a race. There's only a couple people who can contend for this type of title. Everybody else is out here just to enjoy themselves. There we go, another start right there. Looking good, another start right there.
Ooh, that's a speed demon.
Flying right along there. Slow that down a little bit.
I think that's Lance, isn't it?
Another couple teams over on this side. I'm standing with Vern. We're kind of keeping an eye on how this looks right now. And then we got teams hooking up right in front of us.
Yeah, we want to watch these guys.
We got to watch our backs here. More teams will be hooking up. Wow, okay, I'll get you another look at the bottleneck here. As they cross the lake, they start filing into line, and then they start hitting the trail system in Willow. This is all west of the Parks Highway. So we're starting on the Willow Lake here, west of the Parks Highway. Look at that, traveling with a bale of straw right there, heading out. Love to see all those hearts, folks. The mushers will be heartwarmed for that. They've worked really hard for this. We've had a long, cold spell here in Alaska, and today's perfect. 3 degrees, right around freezing. Look at that dog team heading out there. Right on. Okay, let's see who else is getting ready to start. Whoop, there's another one. Right there, another team heading out. So Lisa Saffel said, does the time count? No, the time does not count. It's a matter of finishing. It's a matter of finishing without any outside help. It's a matter of providing great dog care and having the vets check all your dogs at every checkpoint and make sure they're healthy. That's what qualifies you in this event. It's not time, and that's a really, really good question. I think a lot of folks think that all of our races are all about speed. There's only a few teams here that could even compete with Nick Petit and those type of teams that are just do this in their sleep and move very well in the snow and camp very well and feed very well. Everybody else is out here to get a little more experience. And this is what dogs love to do. They want to go camping. So it's a lot of excitement here, but it'll start to mellow out. Mushers will have a lot of time to themselves on the runners, just thinking about life and all that they've done so far this year and all that they want to do. But this is the exciting part. Right on, Trish Eddington joining us from the UK. It's great to have everybody with us. This is a brand new iPhone with brand new cell service. We should be having good LTE coverage. I know it was loud there, but we're always, always glad to have you here. Look at that, we got a few more teams that are gonna be heading out. Let's see who they are. It's like the race that keeps on giving, right? Whoop, whoop. Okay, look, they're still hitching up here. All right, Sarah Amfinson joining us in North Dakota. Welcome to everybody from around the world, whether you're in the States. Oh, Torgen joining us from Norway, right on. The greatest mass start you could have, and here we go. A good example of pacing, taking your time, hitching up the dogs. When you're comfortable, how are you? How exciting?
Very exciting. My first Willow 300.
All right, first Willow 300. Excellent. How are you this morning? Good to see you. You look great. We got the homemade Parker from High Adventures. Here we go, another team's ready right here. In fact, that's Becky Hacker. So Becky Hacker fans right here, she's ready to go. She's being strategic. Yes, the time started for her. Yes, she didn't go at the mass start. And yes, this was her plan. We talked to her earlier today. She wanted to get about 10 or 15 minutes of the other mushers getting down the trail. She just got a hug from Wade Mars there. Let's get you right up and close here. There goes Becky. Right on. Becky Hacker out, folks. If you're a Becky Hacker fan, there she goes. As you can tell, even though the clock started for her, this was her game plan. She wanted to give the team some separation. It's a multi-day race, folks. It doesn't end until sometime late Saturday in the weekend here. Another team off on the far side. We're just able to give you start after start here. Make sure to share the feed. Look at that beautiful morning here in Alaska. The sun is still trying to rise. We have a parking lot full of cars. This is the winter carnival here. Let's see who's going next. We'll go ahead and bring you right down to the action. If you have a favorite musher, let us know. Here we go. Another team started right there, looking great. Nice space in there. They feel real comfortable. They can get into a nice groove. Avoid any kind of issues. You know, a lot of dogs have different levels of comfort being around other dogs. Some teams have had a lot of passing experience this year. Some teams are new to it. Some of the mushers here are just getting started and learning how to get their team down a trail in this situation with lots of other dogs. So it's a great learning experience. I know Ed Streeper a minute ago just said the more races should do this. We agree. Here we go. Anya Berdano. No, oh my gosh, that's Jessie. That's our neighbor Jessie, look at her. Beautiful. Jessie is at the Instagram handle Kinda Tired. So if you want a good Instagram feed, check her out. I know Beth Carpenter wants us to find Quince. Let's see if he's still here in the parking lot. We got a couple more teams left. My hands, let's see if I can do this. Quince was over here if he's still here. I believe Quince has already left. He was over right in here. And so if you rewind the feed and see a nice looking team heading out, we did get an interview with him in the pre-race coverage. So go back one live feed, go in about 4 or 5 minutes, and you'll see our coverage of Quince. He's got special pads he made for the dogs. And his game plan is to just finish, have a nice slow race, no rush, have a good experience. Here we go, 2 more teams, the twins, Anna and Christy Barrington, and all their people. Oh my gosh! Look at that face! We miss you! Okay, scene double. Thank you for waiting, because I always like to see you guys before you go. There's Kirsty. Andy, my brother. How are you guys? If anybody doesn't recognize these faces, they're all over National Geographic right now, especially this one. Andy, good to see you. This is my riding partner from last year. So we were on the snow machines. And what's the strategy here? We've been explaining to folks that there's no big rush here, right? Right on, and people just saw Emily Maxwell helping you guys out, and we're getting a lot of love. Right on, Aaron Anderson said good luck to the twins. All your fans out there, Scene Double Racing, you can find them online. They've got a great Instagram handle. There's Anna's sled. There's Christy's sled. Here are their dog teams. Right here, there's Trevin, Anna's partner, helping out. Nice cold morning. Right on, here we go. Anna's doing a final check. So if you're just joining us, this is the mass start. The Barrington twins have decided to wait like a lot of teams. This is just a good Iditarod training run for them. They want to make sure all their dogs get down the trail. Are you guys excited? This might answer your question about sled dogs wanting to run here. Whoa, there goes Christy. Look at that. Christy Barrington heading down. Right on. Okay, Christy Barrington heading down. Anna Barrington heading right after her. Here we go. We'll have both twins in the picture here right there. There you go. Christy out front, Anna in the back. And they are off on a great training run for Iditarod. No pressure for those two, which feels great. Their eye is on having a really strong Iditarod team, so every mile of this race is just about making sure that all their dogs are going at a nice steady pace. There you go, the twins, Scene Double, Sled Dog Racing. Find them on Instagram. They've been featured in Nat Geo. They've been featured in I believe, a museum down in the lower 48, some of their photography recently. All right, and it's suddenly quiet. Amanda Billy just from my online audience has said, it's suddenly quiet. It's like my head is ringing right now. That was so that was so exciting. Andy,
Hey man, who's gonna win this thing?
give me a little rundown. You're an Iditarod finisher.
True.
I think a lot of folks just saw a mass start that blew their mind, and then of course there's not 30 teams starting at once, right?
Yes, there is. They're gapped a little bit to get started with.
There you go. And explain that gap for us.
Strategy.
Right.
Some people like the chaos off the front. Some people's dogs are real charge aheads. Others don't mind with a 10-minute delay because they know there's 300 miles out there, lots of time to catch up, pass, play your own game, and you can waste a lot of time. Some of those teams have already wasted 10 minutes out there with tangles and other things that you can't see here because they're making multiple passes. It's a interstate freeway out there right now, and if you just wait 10 minutes past rush hour, no problems. The dogs get into a groove and they're stay the whole way. Game is good.
Great. So if you're just joining us, you're talking to Andy Pohl. He's an Iditarod finisher, experienced musher. His wife, Christy Barrington. They just left about 20 minutes after the melee, right?
Something like that. Who's keeping track?
Who's keeping exactly? It's that kind of day. And just so folks know, this is not an all-out adrenaline battle and everybody just freaking out. This is Sled Dog Racing at its finest.
For the dogs, they think it's adrenaline battle. But experienced mushers, they're calm, cool, collected, and they got their game plan. They've been strategizing this race for months. I mean, you don't just get off, pull the dogs out of the doghouse, put them on a line, and do this thing. This takes months and months of preparation training. It's not 1,000 miles like they did, but it is 300 miles, and it is serious. It's serious distance, and it's a very good qualifier. The temperatures are for real today.
Yep, they'll be out in the night, right? They'll be racing throughout the night?
Yep, probably 2 nights. It'll take them probably till Saturday to finish, and the snow is good condition. I've heard good reports about the trail. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up, but the weather looks perfect for dog racing, right around 0 to 10 degrees.
Okay, and some questions from the audience about rules. Are the mushers allowed to have cell phones out there?
Communication is allowed. Cell phones, GPS, if you got your favorite musher, track them, follow them, route them, whatever. The other types of communication mushers will use, GPS, some probably even have walkie-talkies, I don't know, talk to their handlers to get things placed ahead of time, because if there's not a qualifier, you're allowed a handler during this, and the handler not only can bring you your straw and stuff at checkpoints, but all important, water, gear, I don't know.
Exactly,
morale,
yep.
Unless you're a qualifier. Then qualifier, hands off. Because if you're doing this in preparation for your Iditarod preparation, rules are a little bit different, but you're still competing against all the others.
Great, and Katrina Mathis from Online Audience just asked, is a winner determined by who finishes first or by the time from leaving?
Since it's a mass start, everybody's clock is the same. And they'll have to take the mandatory leave out there, and it's up to the mushers to determine which checkpoints they choose to strategize for their mandatory leave or layovers. I think it's 18 hours for this race this year.
Okay, Lisa just asked us from Canada, how many hours of required rest? And here goes the last team. Let's give them a little bit of moment here. Who's this? Look at that beautiful looking team. I believe, that's our friend from right down the road. Look at that, folks. You get one more nice treat there. Share the feed. Go back to the beginning of this when it's over. And look at all the beautiful dog teams. Here's our snow machine support heading out. Lots of volunteers make this happen. The Willow Dog Mushers Association, hats off to another amazing year. It's not every year that we get all these conditions just right. And look at that musher, just gonna have a lot of time now to think about her life, her dog team, what's happening back in her world. Sometimes for mushers, and Andy can tell, when we did this last year together, sometimes you go on the trail and all the troubles of the world fall away.
Oh, you forget it.
And sometimes you go on the trail and all the troubles of the world come crashing in. It kind of depends on your mental state out there.
Hopefully you can leave work behind when you take a vacation and enjoy the trail, the scenery. There's plenty of things to stop and see. Sometimes the views aren't far away. Sometimes they're close at hand. Sometimes it's looking at the trees. Sometimes it's looking at the river and the ice flow. And sometimes it is the big scenic mountains. So take it all in.
Exactly. And for those of you who recognize this face next to me, Andy was my riding partner last year. He guided me to Nome safely on the snow machine.
Yep.
We were able to do some work on behalf of Iditarod out there. It was a great trip. We learned a lot. We talked to a lot of people in the villages. We talked to a lot of people who were just on the trail doing fat biking and hiking.
Yep.
We talked to other dog teams like the Polar Husky team out there.
Oh, yeah, those adventure guys.
Adventure guys. And what this shows you is that this is always a community event. To have all these dog trucks parked on Willow Lake, to have all the coordination of the vet teams here, the mushers meeting last night, all the checkpoint times and those leaderboards. So make sure you're following the tracker. Christy Lent says, hi, Andy.
Hey.
And we're getting a lot of thanks. We definitely appreciate all that support.
It's been answer your question back there.
Of which one?
Who wins?
Oh, right.
So everybody, mass start, everybody's clock starts. Get to the finish line, wherever that is, 300 miles later. They've got probably a orange line painted in the snow. First nose or musher's nose, whatever goes across the finish line first.
Right, and I think it's important to review, there is required rest. Yep. So it's not just an all-out sprint. Mushers have to log in a certain numbers, and that's all done by officially signing into checkpoints. If you come into a checkpoint and you don't officially sign in, your rest does not start.
That's
the same if it's here or Iditarod. And that's what they want the mushers to train for, is to come in and make sure that all the paperwork, everything is signed and dialed.
And you have to announce your departure.
Make sure it's all legit. And then they also have to be carrying certain gear. So we have volunteers out there now that are going to be checking the sleds like they check them here to make sure that they have the right equipment, a cooker, snowshoes, an axe, booties, the vet book, all the things that you would be required at every checkpoint in Iditarod.
Right.
And that was what a qualifier is. It's that you don't just go to the big time and run to Nome on the sea ice. You come and have a series of smaller races that are still equally challenging. I've never done one.
You're going to do one of these days.
One of these days, but even just ski touring with Avik here 5 miles the other day, my hands almost froze off. It was minus 15, right? So these conditions...
You need all the viewers out there to put a couple hearts out there if Kale should run the Iditarod someday. He needs to get his qualifiers. Tag some hearts.
One of these days. And look at that. We got Moses saying, welcome back, and the excitement is back. We love doing this. You love coming out here because your day job, I call you and you're working at
I took 2 days off of work to do this.
You're engineering for the United States government at the military base, and you get to come out here and support your wife. You get to be part of the community. I think we're getting a bunch of hearts right now.
There you go, Kale. Those are all for you. Come on.
Very kind. Okay, so let's go to, while we still have the audience, Christy Lent. When is the finish expecting? And then hoping Dan and I can come out this weekend to see the finish. Really good question. So the best way to get an idea of pacing is the tracker board.
Correct.
And that means you log on to the website, trackleaders.com. There's a list of races. Yep. The Yukon Quest will eventually be on there when it starts.
Okay.
So there'll be some overlap. But then you want to follow the Willow 300, and then you get obsessed with hitting refresh.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are and what level.
Even the spectators
OCD
have to take a nap out there once in a while to watch this entire race.
Exactly, and that's what we did for the Cusco. When we're watching that amazing group and the Cusco, and folks like me can't always just afford to go and.
Is Christy and Anna running? Yes, both Christy and Anna are both running. So we had a bunch of extra help here at the start to launch them, and I will be out at all the checkpoints supporting both teams. Making sure that they got their straw and their drop bags and everything. And both those ladies will have a fantastic day. Their dogs are well trained. The preparation for this race all season. They've been dreaming about this one since the summer.
Yeah, and let's talk about that because this fall we had a lot of warming up in Alaska. We had some ice issues. We had some frozen trail issues, both in Knik. I mean, if we point to your house, it's only that way by about 25 trail miles, right? And then we point to my house, and it's up the trail 3 miles. And both of us struggled for a while there in our communities with having enough.
We went through a lot of dog booties. We even put dog booties on when it's sandy and it's kind of in that frozen in-between areas. We want their feet to be good through the entire year. So, going out for a training run when it's just barely freezing or it's wet, we go through all the motions of protecting the dogs and making sure that their training is top-notch.
Right, there is really no other option. If you're a classy kennel right now in Alaska, You are putting a ton of energy into making
We train
sure.
on dirt. We train when there's mud puddles. When it's warm, the dogs love the mud puddles. You stop next to one, someone will. I mean, they're not labs and they're not water dogs, but you wouldn't believe it when they come fall and they'll lay down in a puddle that's 30, 35 degrees. That's just what they do.
And
Yeah.
I've seen your kennel, and it's in a beautiful part of Kinnick with lots of hardwood trees around it. You got beautiful birch.
Our
and
trails
aspen
are
and-
usually fantastic, but sometimes to get to those fantastic trails, you've got to go through a couple obstacles. And sometimes that's going through the woods, sometimes it's going around a little marsh, sometimes it's going right next to Kinnick Lake. Dogs love to go onto the edge of Kinnick Lake. They will
Right.
all take a drink out of that lake every time we go by it. They want to go right next to the shoreline, take a drink, and then we're on to the next leg of our training.
Andy giving us some great insight. You guys are throwing so many great comments our way. We definitely appreciate it. Katrina's up at home on Hatcher Pass watching. We love that. That's why we're down here. Aaron Anderson, I'll come out Saturday and give you guys a hand. Andy, it's a friend of yours and ours.
Yeah,
That's
Aaron.
great. We got Marissa saying thank you. Can't wait to see the racers at the Forks Roadhouse. We'll talk about checkpoints in just a second. Good question from Auntie AS in Norway. How many dogs minimal to the finish line? How many dogs they need to finish with? Probably 6 or 7, right?
Probably 6.
Probably 6.
I am not up on that section of the rules.
Yep.
So I'm sorry for not having specifics on that question.
And I think Iditarod is right around the 6 range, right?
5,
So
I
5 or
believe.
6. So we're probably in the similar range there. You certainly wouldn't want to finish this race with 4, I don't believe, when you start with this many.
No, I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah.
5 or 6.
So in that
6
range,
is a lot of dog power still.
It's oh my gosh. And then Lisa was asking, is it hard to decide what dogs to run? You know?
Yes. And no. Some kennels, they've only got their dogs that they've trained up. Maybe they only have 16 or 18 in training. They're going to take 14 out here. They'll have a couple spares. Some just need more rest during the season. They go through their cycles. Maybe someone's got a dog in heat. They leave them back at the kennel because they're a cause distractions
Right.
for the team. Christy and Anna Barrington, Scene Double Sled Dog Racing, that's our kennel. It is a little bigger because we are training 2 Iditarod teams, so they're training each about 20 dogs each for their race teams. We got about 4, I think it's about 38 now, actually, specifically in training, and they will be ready for the start line at Iditarod, so we'll have a couple extras.
Right on. Okay, and it looks like 5 or 6 dogs. It looks like we're getting about 5 at the finish line. Now let's go from here to the checkpoints. So all the dog trucks, just to show around Andy here, this is what we're standing in front of. This is where all the chaos just went down, all the fun. Go back to the beginning, watch it again. It's going to be there for you for the rest of the time. I'll move it over to YouTube as well. So now these folks have cleaned up their morning, whatever they had out, right? Their morning equipment, and they're going to do what? They're going to pack up and what's
Oh
our
man,
first
that's
stop?
my job. I've got to put, well, first I'll run the poop scoop around and clean up all the leftover trailings from the dogs, and then I'll take the lines that we tie them to with the truck, some drop chains as we call them, button up the trailer, make everything secure, and then we'll go on to the next checkpoint. And because I'm supporting 2 teams, I have a dog truck and a dog trailer. I will drop my dog trailer at one of the checkpoints so I don't have to drag that around to everywhere else. And then I have 10 slots on the dog truck available for some other dogs, and we're also supporting another Mushers drop dog. So I'll kind of, hopefully there aren't any, but some dogs.
Yeah, so if they get
some dogs are
tired
ready
or
to go home.
have a stomach bug or something, they'll just...
One could be in heat, like I said.
Or they
There's
could-
so many different things.
Right, could be that. And then, so where's your first place you're going to go stage next?
We're gonna probably head up to the Sheep Creek Lodge where Kale's gonna buy me a cup of coffee, and then the next checkpoint is the Susitna Station, and that's where we'll see the mushers come in. And I suspect from the time they left, it'll take them 8.5 hours to do. I think it's 75 miles for the first leg. Anybody online can correct me for those exact mileage.
Yep, and I put a map up earlier this morning when I announced the feed, so the map of the race is there. The map of the route is also on trackleaders.com, and also check the Willow 300 Facebook page. It is an organization of incredible volunteers, so they might not have somebody sitting at the computer every minute. We'll go ahead and keep in touch, Andy and I will make my way up to where I can. I do have a brand new cell phone service and a brand new cell phone, so I'll have
good.
better coverage than in the past, which is always the goal. It's a volunteer gig here, but we do like to bring you right to Willow because we think this is pretty exciting, and it certainly was today. That was...
Kale gets paid in quarters for this, whatever you can find on the sidewalk.
I know, whatever I find between the seats of my car. But we did get a brand new phone, and we got it all dialed in, so hopefully the thank you, Rachel, for that. And we always appreciate the audience here. So I'll go ahead and give one sweep of the logos and the trucks that are here. We'll turn the camera around and give a good look at Andy. He's ready to go there, and your rig is right there. And let's go ahead and walk towards your rig, and I'm going to run towards your rig and show everybody, this is exactly what Andy just described. He's got to get in here now, clean everything up. The CV Kennel has got their rig over there all cleaned up, and they're about doing their final walk around right here, if you can see, right? So buttoned up, looking good there. Team's backing out right there. Of course, it's pretty tight. They might want to pull forward, but that's the Jansen Funeral Home. There's Andy, so you can see what kind of trailer. This is the kind that I'd like to get someday if we're going to have a dog team. When everybody inside, everybody having straw, a beautiful setup here.